Alright, so we days removed from 327, and let me tell you, the way shit looking right now, and by the way, I'm hoping the waves ain't too much in the background, but the way shit looking right now, y'all remember when John Jones left the light heavyweight division and that belt was hot potatoed around until we got the Alex Pereira? It might be looking just like that now with Carlos being out, but yeah, it's your boy DHP, the realest and baddest MMA podcast in the world. And y'all don't forget, I ain't new to this, I'm true to this. But check this out. And by the way, welcome into another installment of the weekend recap. We got some shit to talk about this time around. Ticket sales. Cause I heard UFC 327 ticket sales when it was a low ticket gate. I think this like the lowest. I don't know if it's the lowest of the year, but they said for Miami in specific, I think this was like the lowest. This was the lowest pay-per-view of Miami. So, but we got some shit to talk about. Ticket sales. My boy, aka John Jones. What is that right there? Check this out. Hold on, y'all. Is that a tire? That looks like a whole tire right there. Gable Stevenson. He finally got signed, making his debut at International Fight Week. Hold on, I'm gonna walk towards back the little thing so I can set the phone down. So, we gotta talk about that. John Jones Prodigy. And we're gonna recap some of the shit that went on at 327 because, yeah, it's looking like this belt about to get hot potato around. Let me walk over this side right quick. Put this phone back on the hook. Y'all bear with me. Hey, these waves right here, boy, god damn, these joints is fierce. Hopefully I don't get swept in the damn sea. Look at this shit. Got fucking rocks and she sails. Oh, Lord Jesus, have mercy. Good God almighty, boy. Okay. These waves not playing around today. Take off my slides real quick, so I'm going barefoot, because them damn she sails and rocks killing my feet. But yeah, Carlos Ulberg, man. So we all seen what happened at 327. Yuri's low kicks and calf kicks pretty much touring Carlos' ACL. So I seen a little diagnosis, whatever, and the doctor recommended. Hold on. Put this shit right here. So the doctor recommended that Carlos be sidelined for like, what do you say, like 8 months, something like that? Like 7, 8, 9 months, something like that. If that's the case, he might gotta relinquish the belt. Now, I don't know if he's gonna relinquish the belt. So what I think is gonna happen is that they're gonna come with an interim belt. They're gonna come with an interim title fight. Now, the crazy thing is, and it's gonna lead into the matchmaking for Carlos, this whole light heavyweight division. Like I said on the review show, we got this going on, right? Now, Big Ant, Ankalaev, now he's starting to show face, but he lost his last fight. So I wouldn't even assume they would give him a title shot. Not just a title shot, but he got to get some redemption. I think he got to be on some DDP shit like, look, we're going to give you a fight, and if you win that fight, then maybe we can talk about you getting another title shot. Even like Sean Strickland. Sean Strickland got, coming off suspension, he got the Fluffy Hernandez fight. He whooped Fluffy, now he got the title, right? So we got Big Ant, right? We got Yuri Prohaska. Yuri Prohaska's probably going to get like a huge medical suspension because he got knocked the fuck out. So I'm assuming that Yuri is probably going to get like a 3, 4, 5 month medical suspension. So with that, right, we got Big Ant on the side. Then we got Yuri. Yuri's going to get a good medical suspension. Then we got Carlos. Carlos towards ACL. He's going to be out for the rest of the year. Probably won't come back until like April or early summer of 2027. But now we got Cam Zach coming up in light heavyweight. Now, how early Cam Zad is gonna come out to light heavyweight, that's remain. You know, we still gotta check bases on that. But 100%, sometime this year or even next year, Cam Zad is going up to light heavyweight. So, what do we do? What do we do with the what do we do with the title belt? You know, do Carlos actually relinquish the belt and we have another undisputed title fight? Because to tell you the truth, going back to what I said in the intro, when John Jones left, we had so many title changes and that shit was just hot potatoing. And then Alex Pereira came up and just took over, and he's been dominant since. He lost to Ankalaev, and then he got it right back from Ankalaev. Now, obviously, Alex Pereira. Chama. Obviously, Alex Pereira's at heavyweight now. But we're going right back to where we were when John Jones left. Even when John Jones left a couple times due to, like, the suspension and, well, you know what? Nah, I can't even say that because DC, that's when DC held the shit down. DC held that shit down when John Jones left the first time due to legal problems. So I'm not even going to say that, but what are we going to do? I do have some matchmaking ideas, but it's kind of like I don't even think that's possible right now. You know what I mean? Like, so to get to the matchmaking part of this video, if Carlos, and tell you the truth, nowadays it's up to the fighter whether or not he want to relinquish the belt. I think what's being reported, in my own opinion, they probably gonna let Carlos rehab his ACL. Then, you know, within that time, they're gonna have an interim belt. Now, it might be some time before we get some news with that because everything is unknown right now for the reasons I just stated. Ankalaev is coming off a loss. He hasn't fought since. Jerry just got knocked the fuck out. He's gonna be gone for quite a while. Carlos is hurt, right? So he can't defend the belt until next year. Then we got Cam Zad moving up. So, but now the thing is, and this is very key, because I felt like if Azmat was to beat Paulo, Azmat would be number one. He would be number one for even, you know, considered for the title shot, right? Paulo Costa beat Azmat. So what do we do? Like, is Paulo gonna pull an MVP? And then, you know, how MVP beat Jared Cannonier and then MVP got himself in the top 10 middleweight rankings. This nigga MVP went back to welterweight. So now MVP got shuffled back out of the top 10 rankings, and now he's part in the welterweight rankings. They asked Paulo Costa, so it's like, and they asked Paulo Costa the same thing, like, you want to stay at light heavyweight, you want to go back to middleweight? Knowing Paulo Costa, now, it would be smart for him to stay at light heavyweight because he beat the number 5 contender, and then situational what's going on with the champion right now. Paulo Costa, real live, like, skip, he got a Disney Fast Pass. To put it basic and brief and simple, he got a Disney Fast Pass because he beat the number 5 contender in Azmat. Everybody else done lost. Carlos is hurt. So why not give Paulo the shot? Now, based on my philosophy, for those that have been following my videos for a long time, y'all know my philosophy. I would not give Paulo Costa the title shot right now, but we're in a situation, it's a unique situation because the reasons I've already explained. So Paulo has already got himself in a position where he can actually skip a lot of niggas. Unless, you know, I mean, who else is there? You know, I seriously, you know what? Unless they do, like, Ankalaev versus Paulo Costa for the interim belt, but then you got Cam Zad. What are they going to do with Cam Zad? Cam Zad, if it's true, if it's really true that he's going to come up after the Sean Strickland fight, Cam Zad more than likely is going to get that title shot, especially with everything that's going on right now. So what do you do? And I alluded to this in the review show. You know what? This is the perfect time. This is the perfect time to rebook Cam Zad and Paulo Costa. This is the perfect time for that shit. They were supposed to fight A lot of shit happened with that fight. It was almost like the Tony and Khabib fight. There's a lot of camps that fights that we can say that shit about, but we never got that fight. So now, you know what? Different weight class, but now it's the time to get that fight going. So y'all let me know in the comments, who do y'all want to book? Like, what's the most logical matchmaking fight that we can have for the belt? But the way the UFC is now, I can definitely see them booking Cam Zach and Paulo Costa for the interim belt, at least for the interim belt, because I don't see, if Carlos gonna be out for like 7 to 9 months, somewhere around there, I can see him just hold on to the belt and they do an interim, because I don't think they're gonna book the interim like right away, because there's a lot of shit they gotta think about. But at the same time, it's kind of like, if Carlos had like a setback in the injury, his recovery is gonna be longer. So I think my first reaction right now, as we sit right now, and I may change my opinion later in the week or next time we talk about Carlos, I would like for him to pull a Yuri and Jamal Hill and just relinquish the belt, and then when he come back, give him like a title eliminated fight, or even an immediate rematch, or even an immediate shot like Pantoja. I would like for well, Pantoja a different case obviously because he lost the belt, but I'm just thinking about it in a way where Carlos might have a longer recovery time than anticipated. So therefore, it's a lot of shit going on where light heavyweight could be already stagnant in what it is. But I mean, I haven't looked at the rankings, but Jan Blachowicz, he's coming off some losses. Who else we got? We got Jan Blachowicz. I gotta go back to the rankings, but there's nobody other than Jan Blachowicz. There's really nobody you can say that's really ready for a title shot. So it's unfortunate. It really is unfortunate because it's not Carlos' fault. It's not Yuri's fault. It's nobody's fault. But we in a situation where light heavyweight is about to become more stagnant than what it already is, because we're gonna have to put niggas in a title fight that really don't even deserve a title fight. And especially in Unk's case, in Big Ant's case, he's coming off a loss. So it's kind of like, you don't even deserve like a title shot right now. I would give you like another fight or some like Sean Strickland type shit, and then if you win that convincingly, then we can give you, you know what I mean? But as we stand right now, the only one you can say is Paulo and Cam Zach. That's really the only one you can say right now, because everything is unknown unless you give Dom to, like, okay, Dom beat Johnny Walker. Dom is in the back half of the top 10. So you let Dom fight Ankalaev maybe, or have Dom fight Paulo Costa, something like that, you know what I mean? Like, you could go that route, but I mean, it's a unique situation. It's a unique situation that the light heavyweight weight class is in right now. But oh man, I hope now ACL is much more forgiving than Achilles, because when you come back, and oh yeah, Jamal Hill. Speaking of Achilles, Jamal Hill is out for he's out until like sometime 2027 because of his Achilles. So that's another one, because Jamal Hill's like still like ranked what, 6th, 7th, 8th, like something like that. But then you got Khalil Roundtree, but Khalil Roundtree, he's booking a fight. So it's kind of like nobody right now is ready for a title shot. And which is why I propose maybe Carlos and Yuri can rerun it back at a different time until the light heavyweight get, until we see some shuffling and some settling in light heavyweight, where now we know the clear cut, top 5 top 7 contenders. Right now, everybody's coming off losses and everybody's hurt. So, I mean, we gonna have to wait and see. It's one of these things where we're gonna have to wait and see, and you know, where we go from here. You know what I mean? But that's pretty much it for matchmaking. Yuri, can't even talk about Yuri because I just mentioned about the medical suspension. He's gonna be out for a while, so you know. Unless you do, I forgot who Khalil Roundtree is fighting, but yeah, we just gonna leave it at that, because even if some of these niggas do win they fights, like Khalil Roundtree or whatever, Alex Pereira done beating everybody, and Yuri Prochazka done beat everybody to the point where somebody gonna have to get like at least 1 or 2 wins, and then we can talk about it. I think the fact that Alex Pereira, now I will say, it's kind of like the bridesmaid situation, because Alex Pereira's out the way. Yuri Prochazka, although he beat pretty much everybody else, he's out the way now for some time. So that brings everybody that got beaten by those two, that brings everybody back to the forefront, which could potentially get them in a position now. You know what I mean? But the biggest winner of all this, like, the biggest winner in all this, honestly, Carlos Ulberg won the title, right? But if we're talking about contenders' sake, Paulo Costa is the biggest winner in 327. He's the biggest winner because he knocked off the 5th ranked contender at light heavyweight, and situational, it puts him in the catbird seat to at least be the title challenger. You know what I mean? But yeah. So now we go on to everybody. And shout out to the comment section. I like it. I like the whether you know y'all agree with me or not. I'm fucking with the participation in the comment section. So y'all keep lighting up that comment section, like the video, all that good shit. I like all type of feedback, positive feedback, negative feedback. Hey, I fuck with it all. But yeah, shout out to y'all in the comments, because y'all lighting that comment section up with the Josh Hockett, or Hookit, how you pronounce the name, that video that I made last week. But this motherfucker that got the D-Lou fight. He done got the D-Lou fight, and I'm like, you know what? I personally wouldn't gave him that fight, especially at the White House card. We all know why he's gotten that fight. We all know why he got that fight, especially at the White House. We don't even need to go. I'm tell you the truth, and you know what? Good on him, bro. Good on Josh, because that's probably what's his intentions. Whether you love him, whether you hate him, his intentions is for all of us, you know, fans, content creators, whatever. His intentions is for the MMA community to start talking about him. That's exactly what he's doing. Love him or hate him. So, good job to him. He's doing what he's intended to do. But, y'all know, I said in the comments, I said in the video last week, my biggest issue is the integrity of the sport of MMA is being lost with this whole, this whole shit. So, that's my only issue with it. But, I'm not going to go into too detail with the D-Lou fight. We all know why he got the D-Lou fight. We all know why that shit at the White House. But I personally would not gave him the D-Lou fight. I would have gave him, like, tell you the truth, just because, and I understand that, I understand why he got it. Another reason, because he took Curtis Blades' ranking. So now he's inside that top 10, and he's in. I believe Curtis is like 5th, I believe. Curtis is up there. I know I need to pay attention more to the scoreboard or the ticker board at the bottom, but Curtis Blades is up there in the ranking. So Josh is definitely he's up there with like Waldo Costa and them, like a little ways back from Waldo Costa and them. But tell you the truth, I mean, the heavyweight is just so, like, it is what it is with heavyweight, where I can see why they gave him this matchup, because it seems like there's no, like, what I be saying about the skill gap with light heavyweight, there's no skill gap at heavyweight, and it's just, everything is just all over the place. This D-Lou matchmaking, now logically, I guess you can say logically this matchup makes sense, but we all know the real reason why he got this matchup. But I wouldn't even gave him D-League. I would have gave him somebody like Tallis and Teixeira. That's what I would have given him. I would have gave Josh either now unranked opponent. Well, I don't even think he's unranked because he is ranked. I would have even gave him Tai Tuivasa or Tallis and Teixeira. Those are my 2 matchups for him. And I'll put that, honestly, if you really wanted to push him, I would have put that as the main card of a fight night, like a smaller market city. So, but Josh, I mean, I ranted on him enough. It is what it is with him. Y'all know how I feel about him. Y'all, and I see how y'all feel about him. I ain't gonna keep ranting about it because I ain't about to let him, raise up my blood pressure. But, yeah, the last couple things I want to talk about before we end this video, ticket sales, bro. We got to talk about the ticket sales because, honestly, if you really think about it, and shout out to all my friends, my cousins. Y'all know I don't watch WWE like I used to, but they still do, and I got friends in the industry. And one of the things I've been saying about the UFC, it kind of goes hand in hand with what's going on with the WWE world, because TKO, as y'all know, TKO is the big investment brand that owns everybody. The boxing world, summer boxing, UFC, and WWE. Now, there's some things going on with WWE that actually goes hand in hand with the UFC, because the way TKO is operating, a lot of shit is ticket prices, everything is going up, right? And if you really think about what's going on in the action world, like, put aside sports, MMA, all that other shit, right? What's going on in the real world with a lot of people, you know, have to get multiple 9-to-5 jobs. And they doing side hustles just to make ends meet. Like me, I'm my own independent contractor worker, but it's still not enough for a good livable situation, right? Even though I'm an independent worker, the shit is still not enough. So I have to do all these other side hustles also while, you know, doing other hobbies and shit like that, and also with the podcasting. But it's not enough for me. So I can understand so when you look at it from my perspective and you look at other people's perspective, they have multiple. Like one of my boys, he got about like 3 to 4 9-to-5 jobs because he got to make ends meet. And even that's still not enough when we be talking, you know, on the phone and shit like that. Even that's still not enough. So if you combine what's going on in the real world with everything going up, gas prices, all that other shit going up, bills getting higher, everything in grocery stores and shit like that getting expensive. Then you go to the sporting events and ticket prices up. I think what's contributing to the low ticket sales, and not just UFC Miami, because I heard, you know, we had other events this year where it wasn't really a huge turnout. Like you can compare to other years, it wasn't a huge turnout, but I really don't think that MMA is in decline, because I've seen a couple posts and comments about that, about MMA is possibly in a decline or in a recession. I don't think MMA is in a decline or a recession. What I think it is, it's all about what's going on in the real world. I feel like a lot of shit has gone up in price to the fact where now it's all about what's the word I'm looking for? What you deem as, like, is it really worth it? Because, you know, I had, fun fact, when I first started driving, right, and I first went to driving school back in 2016, one of my driver's teachers, he was a huge UFC fan, MMA fan, and actually he participated in a local gym close by. It's like, you know, 20 minutes from my house, actually. He told me, you know, because I never been to, now obviously I go to like the local MMA gyms and amateur gyms across Maryland and Virginia. So I do go inside MMA gyms and small little, you know, amateur events. But I've never been to an actual UFC fight, right? He told me Go to a UFC fight just for the experience and atmosphere, at least once or twice or even 3 times. After that, you better off just staying at home, because unless you get the good seats on a lower level, you really, if you up on that upper deck of the stadium, you're really not going to see that much unless you just look up at the jumbotron or you record and you zoom in on the recording. So when you think about the experience, right, and depending on what seats you get and the prices, is it really worth it to you to go to a UFC event instead of now? And you can say this about all sports, which is why I feel like crowd turnouts in certain sports is kind of lower than before, because we have all these streaming accessories at our hands at a low price. Like now with the Paramount, I might make a video on that too, because Paramount, the experience with Paramount is not that good to me. But I mean, I'm kind of 50-50 about it. So I'm gonna make a video about that later on, maybe this week, maybe next week. But we have all these streaming accessories at our leisure, so we can watch it right at home in the comfort of our own seats and the couches and shit like that for a low price. So is it really worth it to spend thousands and thousands of dollars on tickets for the UFC when you're not going to see what you came to see, unless you have the good seats? So that's one thing you got to keep in mind. I think it's more so, and you can also say that the cards that we've been getting, it's not really worth the money. You can kind of say that, but I could attribute it more to like what's going on in the real world. I feel like everything in TKO is part of the problem, because they raising, based on what I hear about what's going on in the WWE world, the tickets for wrestling events has gone extremely way up. And I see what they doing with the UFC, which is why I've been making rant videos and complain about certain shit that TKO is doing, because they're part of the problem of why the UFC is in this climate that it is now. But I just think the shit in general just going up to the point where it's not really worth it going to these UFC fights when you have shit at the house type shit. You know what I mean? But yeah, I mean that's pretty much it. MMA to me, from what I've seen at the local gyms and shit like that, and just other shit I see online, MMA as a whole is still in a good spot. When we talk about UFC, One Championship, PFL, Cage Warriors, FC Fury, all this other shit, MMA on a professional side is still rising. You know, it's still in a good spot, and locally, from what I've seen going into these gyms in Maryland and Virginia, it's still a good turnout. I just think when it comes down to it, it comes down to each individual person's situation, and they're not going to spend the money, especially if they're like a casual or not. They're not going to spend that money just to go to the UFC event when they barely can't see anything. But yeah, that's pretty much all there's to it for real. Just, you know, the real world is kind of, as the world is changing, you know, what's going on with like the government and shit like that, and all the prices keep going up. I mean, a lot of people making sacrifices, bro. But that's pretty much it on that. And before we end this video, y'all talking about, well, I ain't gonna say y'all, but you know, he has some fans out there, but you know, some people saying Josh Hookett is the savior of heavyweight. Wait till Gable Stevenson finally make his debut to International Fight Week. I think they're gonna build up International Fight Week to be something crazy. Because especially if they do get the deal done with Conor, Paddy Pimblett, you know, has expressed interest in the card, and they talked to Paddy about it. Gable Stevenson finally making his debut to International Fight Week. I ain't gonna lie to you. To me, and maybe because I'm a fan, but Gable Stevenson, he is the true savior of the heavyweight division, because he's gonna bring that Cain Velasquez type shit back to heavyweight. I'm telling you, like the wrestling, the collegiate wrestling with the freakish athletic ability, Gable Stevenson, he's gonna bring the true excitement back to heavyweight. But yeah, man, that concludes the weekend recap. We on the what's this week? Gilbert Burns and Mike Malott. I think that's the fight card for this weekend. Also, I know I keep saying it, but you know, I'm gonna get on my shit. We got some PFL content coming up. We got some One Championship content coming up, so don't y'all worry. We're gonna get into more MMA shit other than UFC. So yeah, man, until my next video, I'll holler at y'all niggas later, man.